Well, welcome in everybody. It's starting to storm here just a little bit today. So I think I'm going to make a cake this afternoon. Went out to dinner with a friend a while back and we ate a key lime cake. It's delicious. She said, okay, now your job is to figure out how to make this cake. So here goes. We're going to try that. First, I'd like for y'all to give me a thumbs up. It helps YouTube pick up my videos. Leave me some comments. Talk to me. Let me know what's going on in your life. If you've ever made a key lime cake, if you have any requests, let me know, and I'll try to honor that and try to make whatever it is y'all want me to make. Just like she said, I want you to make this key lime cake. So here goes. So we're gonna try this key lime cake. Subscribe so you don't miss my videos, and we're gonna get started. If you're new, welcome. If you're a subscriber and watched before, welcome back into the kitchen. First of all, this key lime cake needs some toasted coconut. So I've just got plain Angel Flake coconut. And if y'all watched my previous video, you watched me seal up all my dry ingredients with my food saver. So it's still sealed. Did y'all hear that pop? And I don't know, I just kind of sprinkle some on this pan right here. And I'm going to stick it in the oven and just kind of let it toast a little bit. My daughter doesn't like coconut at all. I think it's a texture thing. She likes coconut flavors. She just doesn't like the texture of coconut. So I'm just going to put it across the top. I don't know if she'll be here to eat it or not, but so there's my coconut. I'm just going to put it over here in the oven. The oven's at 325 because that's what we bake our cake at. So that's Fahrenheit degrees. So I'm going to pop that coconut right in there and we'll get it toasting. Okay, while it's toasting, we're going to mix up our cake. And we need a cup of oil. And I'm using coconut oil because I think it'll go really, 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 really well with limes and coconut, right? Anything tropical calls for a cup of oil. There we go. And I'm about out, so I need to add that to my shopping list, don't I? Yes, I do. Okay, there's my oil. Need 3 large eggs. I tried real hard, y'all, and I forgot a bowl. I'm sorry. All right, I need 3 eggs. Can y'all still see in that bowl? Here is 1. It's got a little bit of a shell there. We don't want that, do we? I hope it's pretty and sunny where you all are today. It was pretty here this morning, but it's kind of clouded up, and I heard a rumble of thunder just a minute ago. All right, there's 3 eggs. Let me rinse off my fingers. 3 eggs. 1 1/3 cups of whole milk. So here we go. I'm just going to use the same measure for my 1 cup. There's 1 cup. And here is 1/3 of a cup. Okay. All right, let me find us a bowl. You all know how I get. I can't keep up with stuff. I cannot. I tried so hard. I even had a list of things to get out before we got started, you all. And I just going through my list. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it all, but I didn't have something to put it in. Okay, now we need 2 cups of flour. Here we go again. Y'all know how I am. I'm going to scoop it into here. And kind of just fluff it about because I don't want to have to sift it. Okay, there's one. And that's 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour. If you're making a cake, you always use all-purpose flour because then you add your baking soda and your baking powder, which we'll do that in just a second. I gotta follow my recipe, y'all, or I'll get off track and I'll forget something. And now we need 2 cups of sugar. About 2 cups of flour. There's 1. 2 cups of sugar. Okay. Now then, we need a teaspoon. Let's find our little teaspoon. There's our teaspoon. I love these little magnetic Doomafloches measuring spoons. A teaspoon of baking powder. That's this. A teaspoon. It's got that little thing I can scrape it off on. Teaspoon of baking powder. A half a teaspoon of baking soda. Right like that. And a teaspoon of salt. There it is. I knew I had it over here. A teaspoon of salt. Perfect. Now then, I'm going to whisk this together just a little bit. Kind of get it all together. I don't like this whisk. I don't know why I get it out. But I do. I think it's because it's pretty and bright colors. But it doesn't whisk very well. It's kind of flimsy. Okay. Now I'm going to take y'all over to the mixer. We're going to beat this. Then we're going to add this. Okay. So I'm just going to carry y'all with me. All right, like this. Here we are. I'll step back over here and get our bowls. Can y'all see the mixer? Let's see if I can get y'all over here. Maybe y'all see that? Okay, hold on. Let me get our stuff. Okay. Now then. Here we go. We're going to beat this up. I think that's what it says. I know you're supposed to. So I'm going to turn this on. Just like that on low. Let me grab our recipe. Okay. Now then. It says to cream this for 2 minutes. I don't know how you cream. It's not even, but we'll give it a 2 minutes, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to check on this coconut. Oh, and it's pretty, look. Can y'all see how pretty and toasty that is? All right, we got our coconut toasted. It says 2 minutes. And that's just kind of sloshing out. It's not really creaming, is it? Okay, we're just going to keep it going with that. I'll be back here in just a minute with you all and y'all see me. I'll try to hunch over the counter so y'all can see me and the mixer. Okay, y'all, it's been 2 minutes. Now we add this other. I'm going to get me a spoon to add it with. That one I dropped in the floor, had to put it in the sink. Okay, here we go. I have seen them make key lime cakes with a cake mix, and I suppose you could, because this is basically a cake mix. You just use milk instead of water in your cake mix. And use a little bit of lime juice and add your lime zest. All right, I'm going to dump this wrong. There we go. All right, we got that. Get us a spatula. Make sure we got all this down in there. It looks good. Looks like a nice cake. Really does. Looks pretty. It's a real pretty cake. All right, I forgot to get my pans ready. You know how I am. I can't do anything. I'll let one come. So just hang on, hang with me. I'll just leave y'all on. I'm just going to run over here for a second. All right, let me get down here and get these pans out. Oh, let's see. Here are 2 pans. One is a tiny bit smaller than the other. See? This will be my top cake. This will be my bottom cake. All right. I'm going to turn this off. I'm just going to spray them. Just like that. Then, I forgot this too. Y'all just have to hang out with me here in the kitchen and run around and run amok with me, because that's what I do, isn't it? I just run amok. I'm going to put some parchment paper in the bottom, because the last time that I baked cakes in these cake pans, they fell completely apart. Now, I'm going to show y'all how I do this to make them round. Got my parchment paper. I think y'all can see me right over here. Let me move this out of the way so y'all see good. I'll show y'all how to cut a circle. Fold it over here to the edge like that. And then keep folding. You've got triangles, see? And you want to just keep folding those triangles like that. And this pivot part right here, this is your main point of your triangle that you kept folding from, is right here. And got out my scissors. I'm going to kind of measure from the center of this pan. See where that little button is? Can y'all see the little button right here? I'm going to measure from here, and I'm going to cut right around that edge, okay? Just going to lay it down there, and then this should make a circle and fit right in this pan here, okay? Our milk in. Now it says 2 tablespoons of lime zest. Okay, I'm going to set this back here just a little bit. Get these eggs over here out of our way. So we've got room to work. I don't have a big workspace here. Go ahead and put this back up in the fridge. All right, now then, lime zest. Let me grab something to zest these limes into. And we're going to have to squeeze them, and I forgot the squeezer. All right, now I've washed these limes a couple of times, but I'll wipe it off again. And y'all know, and everybody tells you, when trying to get out of zester, I know y'all saying, we know, but somebody might be watching that does not know. You only zest the top. Okay? You don't want the white part. Okay? So we're going to zest up these limes. And while I'm zesting these 2 limes, I wanted to kind of continue with our autism story just a little bit. I know in the previous video I told you all that we sent him to an inpatient facility for a while. He was about 12 years old. Of course, puberty's hitting. His body's going haywire, and he doesn't understand that. So we were at a doctor, and we had previously been on some medications, and I'm not going to go into all the whole medication debate with you all about what's good and what's not. But we had him on some medication to help him cope. I mean, these kids don't have a lot of coping mechanisms. That's part of their problem, is they can't cope with things. Little things that, a normal is not a good word to use, but your typical person can adjust fairly easily. Let's say your power goes out. Well, you're bummed because the TV's not on, the internet's not working, or whatever. But you're like, okay, it'll come back on in a few minutes, and you're like, okay, I'll be fine. It's not that big of a deal. But for a child with autism, or a person with autism, not just children, adults, they can't cope. They don't know. They don't have that in them to understand that it's okay, that it's going to come back. Okay? So we had him on medication to help with things like that. So anyway, we had a new doctor. And he changed some of his medications because the recommended dosage, whoever puts out recommended dosages, I don't know if it's the pharmaceutical companies or the American Medical or whoever comes up with that, to take him any higher would have gone above that, okay? And they didn't want to do it. And I thought, okay, we'll try this other, we'll give it a shot. Because you never know until you try things. Well, it started us down a very slippery, very fast slope. And it basically became an avalanche to us. He got real bad, real fast. We couldn't take him to school. His OCD went out the roof. It was just, this one doesn't look like it's got a lot of zesting to do on it, but I'll get what I can off of it. But anyway, it was not a good situation. So, with all that being said, we ended up, and like I said in a previous video, we moved our daughter out of the house with grandparents, to live with grandparents for a while. We ended up taking our son to an inpatient facility about 250, 300 miles away from home. To walk out and leave him was absolutely one of the hardest things I have ever done. My mama heartstrings weren't just tugged at, they were ripped out of my heart, tied in knots, and thrown away. It was devastating to me. I mean, from the time he was conceived, he had been with me. And time gives you teenagers, so you're ready to let them go when they get to college age. I truly believe that the teenage years are so hard on parents that by the time these kids are ready to go to college, you're like, yes, please go. Um, he wasn't quite there yet. He wasn't, so anyway, he was still little. Um, so, but it ended up being a blessing. It was truly the best thing we ever did for him. He had some OCD behaviors that we could not control. One of them, I have to kind of laugh now, but it was red lights. We could not go through a light if it was green. I would travel miles and miles and miles out of my way to avoid a red light because he would kick, scream, squall, throw things, hit me in the head, pull my hair, throw things. At one point, he even he took his seatbelt off and opened the car door. So it was a safety issue. So yes, my mother one time, bless her heart, I remember we were going somewhere and had him in the car, and she said, why on earth are you going this way? I said, Mama, just trust me. Please, just don't say anything. Just trust that I know where I am going, because I probably turned the exact opposite direction of where we needed to go, but I was doing it to avoid red lights. And I know some of you all are out there going, oh, I understand. And if you've ever watched the movie Rain Man, and he stops and tells this woman, if you don't let him watch this TV show, he's going to have a fit right here on your front porch. I honestly could say that that would have been me. I would have stopped and said, we need your television for 30 minutes to let him watch this show, then we will be out of your hair. Because those things happen. They really, really do. People that don't understand this will watch that movie and go, oh my gosh, nobody would ever do that. Oh yes, they would. Trust me, they would do that. You don't know what you would do. And I know that is one thing that I would do. So anyway, we would do crazy things like that, I'm sure. So, but like I said, we took him down there and we left him, and he was there about 7 months, and we drove back and forth every 10 days to 2 weeks. We made a trip. And after that 7 months, I brought home a totally different child. They not only, my kitchen counter is clean, y'all, and my zest went everywhere, and I need every last little drop. So I'm going to scoop it off and use it, because that stuff is precious. When I only have 2 limes, and I may have to use a little bit of lemon juice because I may not have enough lime juice. I don't know. But that's okay. We'll use what lime stuff we've got here. And there's a little bit more zest I can get off of this one. Okay, but back to my story. I know I changed topics. Jump from one to the other. It keeps y'all on your toes. You know that, right? I do that. Okay. So, we left him down there for about 7 months, 6, 7 months, something like that. Brought home a totally different kid. He was down there over Christmas. And I had gotten permission to bring him home for 3 days over Christmas, because it's hard enough on a mama to be without her youngin', but to be without her youngin' at Christmas and him be down there all alone, I just don't think I could have stood it. And we were on our way to pick him up, and they called and said, we're not going to be able to let you take him. Well, Mama Bear Claws came out, and I said, listen, I've dealt with this behavior for months, and I said, I'll manage for 3 days, but I'm on my way, and you have a choice. You can either let me have him for 3 days, or I'll bring him home for good and figure out something else, because he is coming home for Christmas. So they let me have him for 3 days. I brought him home on the 23rd. I took him back on the 26th. But I'm glad I did. I couldn't have stood him not not being home at Christmas. I just don't think I could have stood that. So anyway, brought him home. He was, like I said, and we brought him home later in the spring. He was a different child. And I'm still in contact occasionally with some of the therapists he had there. They were so good to him. Wonderful, wonderful people. I say God puts you where you need to be when you need to be there. And he truly does. I've seen it more times than one, especially raising this child. He gives you what you need to get through the day, to get through the week, to get through life. And if you don't know Christ and you don't know Jesus, you need to. You really do, because I could not live the life I've lived without him. I pray daily. I have to survive as a mom, as a daughter-in-law. Both my parents are gone. As a wife, you have to. I pray for my kids. I pray for my family. If you have a need, let me know. I'll pray for you too, because that's what gets us through, y'all, is prayer. So, that being said, and we brought him home. He was a different kid. He was fun-loving. We got him back in school. He did great. And I'm going to leave y'all there for now. Bring y'all back in another episode. So be sure to hit the subscribe and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss the next chapter in this story. Because we've got lots more to tell you. The stories get a lot, some of them good parts and some bad parts. So I'm going to leave y'all right there with the autism story, and I'm going to check on this coconut. Oh, and it's toasting up beautifully, beautifully. Let me grab a knife here, and I'm going to squeeze these limes. Let's see how much lime juice we get. And like I said, I may have to use some lemon juice. Y'all see me squeeze this lime right here. Okay, there's 1/2. We may have enough lime juice, you all. See, how much do I need? A tablespoon. Oh yeah, we'll have plenty of lime juice. So we'll be good. It'll all be lime, not lemon. Perfect. Oh, whoa, did you see that? That squirted me. Came out from the side. Okay. I'll go ahead and do this one, because if we have extra, we'll just put it in something else. Got lime juice squirting everywhere, you all. Okay. Got one more to go. And then we'll... All right. Now then, we need a tablespoon in. We're going back to our oil, eggs, milk. We needed 2 tablespoons of lime zest, and I don't have 2 tablespoons. So I'm going to put half of what I've got. Okay. Didn't have 2 tablespoons. That's quite a bit. And it says a tablespoon of fresh lime juice. So there we go. Right in there. Now we have to take this over here and beat it. But first, I'm going to go ahead and mix up our dry. All right, let me find us a bowl. You all know how I get. I can't keep up with stuff. I cannot. I tried so hard. I even had a list of things to get out before we got started, you all. And I just going through my list. I'm like, oh yeah, I got it all, but I didn't have something to put it in. Okay, now we need 2 cups of flour. Here we go again. Y'all know how I am. I'm going to scoop it into here. And kind of just fluff it about because I don't want to have to sift it. Okay, there's one. And that's 2 cups of flour, all-purpose flour. All-purpose flour. If you're making a cake, you always use all-purpose flour because then you add your baking soda and your baking powder, which we'll do that in just a second. I gotta follow my recipe, y'all, or I'll get off track and I'll forget something. And now we need 2 cups of sugar. Got 2 cups of flour. There's 1. 2 cups of sugar. Okay. Now then, we need a teaspoon. Let's find our little teaspoon. There's our teaspoon. I love these little magnetic Zoomaflotches measuring spoons. A teaspoon of baking powder. That's this. A teaspoon. It's got that little thing I can scrape it off on. Teaspoon of baking powder. A half a teaspoon of baking soda. Right like that. And a teaspoon of salt. There it is. I knew I had it over here. A teaspoon of salt. Perfect. Now then, I'm going to whisk this together just a little bit. Kind of get it all together. I don't like this whisk. I don't know why I get it out. But I do. I think it's because it's pretty and bright colors. But it doesn't whisk very well. It's kind of flimsy. Okay. Now I'm going to take y'all over to the mixer. We're going to beat this. Then we're going to add this. Okay. So I'm just going to carry y'all with me. All right, like this. Here we are. I'll step back over here and get our bowls. Can y'all see the mixer? Let's see if I can get y'all over here. Maybe y'all see that? Okay, hold on. Let me get our stuff. Okay. Now then. Here we go. We're going to beat this up. I think that's what it says. I know you're supposed to. So I'm going to turn this on. Just like that on low. Let me grab our recipe. Okay. Now then. It says to cream this for 2 minutes. I don't know how you cream. It's not even, but we'll give it a 2 minutes, okay? In the meantime, I'm going to check on this coconut. Oh, and it's pretty, look. Can y'all see how pretty and toasty that is? All right, we got our coconut toasted. It says 2 minutes. And that's just kind of sloshing out. It's not really creaming, is it? Okay, we're just going to keep it going with that. I'll be back here in just a minute with you all and y'all see me. I'll try to hunch over the counter so y'all can see me and the mixer. Okay, y'all, it's been 2 minutes. Now we add this other. I'm going to get me a spoon to add it with. That one I dropped in before, I had to put it in the sink. Okay. Here we go. I have seen them make key lime cakes with a cake mix, and I suppose you could, because this is basically a cake mix. You just use milk instead of water in your cake mix. Use a little bit of lime juice and add your lime zest. All right, I'm going to dump this wrong. There we go. All right, we got that. Get us a spatula. Make sure we got all this down in there. It looks good. Looks like a nice cake. Really does. Looks pretty. It's a real pretty cake. All right, I forgot to get my pans ready. Oh, you know how I am. I can't do anything. I'll let one come. So just hang on, hang with me. I'll just leave y'all alone. I'm just going to run over here for a second. All right, let me get down here and get these pans out. Oh, let's see. Here are two pans. One is a tiny bit smaller than the other. See? This will be my top cake. This will be my bottom cake. All right. I'm going to turn this off. I'm just going to spray them. Just like that. Then, I forgot this too. Y'all just have to hang out with me here in the kitchen and run around and run amok with me, because that's what I do, isn't it? I just run amok. I'm going to put some parchment paper in the bottom, because the last time that I baked cakes in these cake pans, they fell completely apart. I'm going to show y'all how I do this to make them round. Got my parchment paper. I think y'all can see me right over here. Let me move this out of the way so y'all can see good. I'll show y'all how to cut a circle. Fold it over here to the edge like that. And then keep folding. You've got triangles, see? And you want to just keep folding those triangles like that. And this pivot part right here, this is your main point of your triangle that you kept folding from, is right here. And got out my scissors. I'm going to kind of measure from the center of this pan. See where that little button is? Can y'all see the little button right here? I'm going to measure from here, and I'm going to cut right around that edge, okay? Just going to lay it down there, and then this should make a circle and fit right in this pan here, okay? Okay, somebody came to the door. So here's this. I put it in there like that. I'm going to do another one real quick and get this cake in the oven. Molly. Okay. Mercy. If I get this cake in the oven, y'all will think it's going to be a miracle. I had to grab the dog and get her outside real fast. I thought she was going to throw up in here, and I did not want to have to clean that up in the kitchen. Okay. So here we go again. Put it over here on this dark so y'all can see. I've just got a triangle like this. And you keep folding from the center. Just like this. Just keep folding from the center. From your center point. Just like that. And then you lay it on your cake pan. to the center and just cut around. And we have a circle. Voila. We have a circle. Pop that in there. I'm going to have to mix this up a little bit. It's kind of separated on me. While all this was going on, I had two people here. Someone at the front door, one at the back door. And I'm trying to make y'all a key lime cake. Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Okay. Now then, divide this into these two pans. There's one. Ooh. Pour the rest of this in this bigger pan here. I know y'all can't see what I'm pouring, can you? I just divided it into two pans. I want to get it in the oven before it gets all yucky. You know, I don't like to leave a cake sitting out too long before I get it in the oven. Did I just do that and not turn y'all on? Okay, now I had y'all on. That was good. Ha! Y'all, I'm about crazy headed. All right, now I'm going to pop these cakes in here. Let's see if I can get them both in there. I believe I can. Right there we go. Now then, I'm going to bake them about 30 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 25 and check them, okay? And I'll be back with y'all when I get these cakes out of the oven. Oh, I'm not sure if that cake's done or not. Might leave it just another minute. Turn this timer off and we'll add another 5 minutes, okay? And I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. Cakes are done. This one got done a little bit quicker. It's a little smaller, and it was also at the back of the oven. And this oven, the back of the oven is hotter than the front. Is y'all's that way? This one is, and it drives me absolutely insane. I'm going to pull y'all over here closer. I want y'all to look down here. I want y'all to see that. Do you see this? That's that lime zest. Do you see it coming in the top of that cake? I want y'all to see that zest. So, I'm going to let these go for just a minute here in these pans, and I'm going to put them out on my wire rack that I've got sitting somewhere in this kitchen. This has been chaotic trying to make a cake, to say the least. People coming and going, and oh my mercy, but we've got our cakes made. Now, while they cool just a minute, we're going to whip up our icing so we can get it in the refrigerator. And our icing takes a stick of butter, and you all know I normally use salted butter. And in a cake icing or anything like that, that salt enhances your sweetness, okay? And it's softened. Y'all see how good and ooey gooey that is right there. And it calls for 8 ounces of cream cheese. You all watched me before. You saw I bought a big old honking block of cream cheese at the store rather than the little packages the last time. So let's cut us off 8 ounces here. Here we go. And it has been sitting out for quite some time. So this should start to whip up pretty good. Okay, I'm going to try to chop this up just a little bit in here. Like this. So it'll whip a little bit better. Got this big old knife out. Okay. Alright, now then. Y'all know I like to use my whisk anytime I'm making a icing, whipped cream, whipped potatoes, anything you want to put air into, you want to use your whisk. And I've got my little guard, cleaning guard on it, so it will come clean. I'll set that down in there, dust the flour off of this blueberries here. I'm going to turn this on and let that start whipping. And it says to whip it 4 to 5 minutes. So I'm just going to let it whip. And then I'll be back in about 4 or 5 minutes, okay? Okay, you all, we've got our I'm having to do a voiceover here because the mic didn't pick up, so bear with me. We've got our butter and our cream cheese that's whipped up there in that mixer, and it's been whipping for about 4 to 5 minutes. Now we have to add, the recipe calls for 4 to 4.5 cups of powdered sugar. So, and I also need some lime juice. So I needed my tablespoon. The recipe calls for 1 tablespoon of lime juice. And the rest of our lime zest actually calls for 2 tablespoons, I believe, but we're just going to add what we have. You know, we used half in the cake, so we're going to use the other half in the icing. And we're going to add start adding our powdered sugar. We're going to add it a half a cup at a time. There's a total of 2 cups of powdered sugar in there now. We're going to whip that up and see how it does, and then we'll whip up add the other 2 cups. Make sure you all can see good here. There's a cup, a half a cup, another half a cup. That's a total of 3 cups of powdered sugar. Oh mercy. Okay, I'm gonna back up and tell y'all what I just was supposed to tell you. A stick of butter, 8 ounces of cream cheese, beat for 5 minutes, okay? Now we've added a tablespoon of lime juice and the rest of our lime zest. You know, I used half of it in the cake, the other half because I didn't have 3 whole tablespoons that we needed. But it'll be fine. Now I have added 3 cups of powdered sugar. The recipe says 4 to 4.5 cups. So we're going to keep going with this, okay? 3, and I'm going to add 4 here. There's 4 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to let this whip pretty fast, okay? Whew. Now then, let's see how that holds up. Oh, it looks like it's going to be good. I may not have to add any more. Let's get us a spoon and taste it, y'all. See if it's limey enough. That's good, y'all. It's really good. All right, now then. I'm going to take this off right like this. See, look, it's going to push every bit of that off into my bowl. And then I'll take this right here, clean this off. See, look how nice and clean my whisk is now. I love that little gadget there. Y'all, when I get this out of the dishwasher, put them both in the dishwasher now, you can. And I put them in the dishwasher. When I get them out of the dishwasher, I just go ahead and put that back on here so it's ready to go the next time I want to use my whisk. All right, y'all, let me get you over here. I'm going to move you over here where the cake is. It's been cooling. It's been cooling. The cake is cooling. Come back over here with me. All right, now then. Here's our cake. See them? are kind of flat. But there's kind of like a sponge cake. It's not real thick. This is our largest cake. I hope. Oh no, the whole top's coming off of it. Oh well. You all, I don't think I've ever made a cake and it did not somewhat fall apart. But no worries, right? No worries. It'll be just fine. I'm going to put me a slathering of this lime cream cheese frosting. I love cream cheese frosting. Love, 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 love it. All right, now then, let's see if we can get this other one on here. Right like that. It's kind of a flat cake, isn't it? Y'all, I bet it'll be good. I believe it's going to be good. All right, now let's put another slathering of this. That's got some chocolate on it. All right, right on top here. This is not a real high cake. You can make more layers, but y'all, there's just 4 of us here to eat, and we don't need that much cake. And I may want something different in a day or two, right? Okay, let me get this other little spatula over here to do the edges with. Here's my cake spatula. Handy dandy cake spatula. It'll do the sides. Just like this. Well, I used to have like a turntable. When I was decorating cakes, I used to decorate cakes all the time. Used to have a turntable, I'd put them on. But now I make cakes for tastes, not looks, like I used to. I used to make them for looks, and they tasted good too, usually. But put this up here, and maybe I can pull it down. Okay, there's our key lime cake. Like I said, if y'all wanted more layers, you could absolutely double the cake recipe part and make it 4 layers high. Let's get our toasted coconut over here. We're just going to sprinkle this around on the top. Didn't know how much it would need, but you all know I can take this toasted coconut, put it in a jar and seal it up. And then the next time I need toasted coconut for something, I'll have it. Which is what I'm going to do, because I'm going to have way too much for that cake. All right, y'all. This is our key lime cake. We're going to taste this after a while. After we eat our supper. I've got a so-so supper going. It's not anything great, but it will feed us. Nevertheless, so that's going to be all for this one. Remember, like, share, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think about the cake. If you've made a key lime cake, if this is the way you do it, if it's not, let me know what you think. Make this cake and then come back and comment and say, well, I made it and it was good, or it wasn't, or mine did this or mine did that. Just talk to me a little bit. And that'll be all for this one. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye for now.